Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the RapChat podcast. Now, before we head into the podcast, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, make sure to comment, and to subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcasts, make sure to leave us a rating, and also, please, leave us a review. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at RapChat Podcast, where we post new clips of the show every single week. I'm your host, Luke Dick.
I'm Elias Eldridge.
And I'm Sam Kenny.
And big shout out. We have a much higher energy in here this time.
This is a good feeling. I feel good.
And
Positive podcast.
It's not a sweep if we win one, right? It's a sweep. It's 4-0, right?
Yeah,
that's a sweep.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. Okay. Because I'm just like, hey, so we didn't get swept. That's the main point. Because I have a buddy back home who I was just like chatting about the Raptors with, and I'm like, Raptors got Raps in six, and then we ended up losing 3-0, and I'm like, that was not. I think our first three games are so not indicative of like how good our team actually is.
Those didn't count.
Yeah, like I'm just
1-0 series.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like I don't know. I just don't think that we those games are really reflective of like how much potential.
I think Game 3 was good also.
Game 3 was very good.
That loss hurts a lot
mostly just
more
Game
now.
1 and 2. Game 1 and 2 were like
those
really bad.
Yeah, those are really bad losses.
Game 3 hurts a lot more now though.
Yeah,
it could have been 2-2.
I know, man. It's actually facts.
Tough.
Like, and just because it was so close, and it was, I don't know, man. There was foul trouble, and
let's not dwell on that one.
Exactly, and that's the point. That's why we're here to talk about Game 4.
and Nick Nurse, he said that someone's got to win a 3-0 series, and then he said 3-1's been blown before.
There we go.
There we go. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. They took his quote out of context on like Bleacher Report, and then people in the comments were like, "What?" He's like, "It's 3-1, and that's been done. It's 3-1." And people were like, "Wait, what?"
It's 3-0.
Yeah, it was like, what are you talking about? But taken out of context, it didn't really make much sense. But it's aged well. Yeah. Anyways, okay, so. Yes, Game 4. Sam, what do we kind of got for our schedule today?
We'll talk about the game, but before the game, there's big news that Scottie Barnes won Rookie of the Year.
Of the year!
Yeah.
Woo!
Sorry, if you want to do that, you can do that. There you go. Yeah.
Apparently,
Sam got it wrong.
I was wrong. Apparently, it was the closest.
Yeah, it was the closest
race ever.
It was the closest voting in Rookie of the Year history since voting has become a thing. Scottie edged out Mobley by 15 points, and for reference, first place votes are worth 5, second place are worth 3, and third place are worth 1. So that's how close it was.
And I just want to mention this. I called Scottie Barnes Rookie of the Year.
You called him? You called him?
I called him, and I spoke with him on the phone.
You're the one that broke the news to him.
No, but the only reason why I want to say this is because I was so high on Scottie at the beginning of the year, and like I gotta be honest, it's not like I really watched Cade or Evan the same way I watched Scottie at all. I mean, I would see them from time to time. I like watching Cavs games. The Cavs games are good. I like Darius Garland, and of course Evan's like really awesome. And then tuning into Cade, and Cade killed us, man. Cade killed us whenever he played us. So like, shout out to those guys. But at the end of the day, like. I just wanted to tell this little story to the audience because this Christmas I asked my mom for a Raptors jersey, and I said I just wanted it to be any one of 3 guys, OG Anunoby, Gary Trent Jr.,
David Johnson,
and David Johnson, and Scottie Barnes, and my mom picked a jersey at random. Totally at random, and it ended up being Scottie. She didn't even know who Scottie Barnes is, and it ended up being Scottie's jersey. And the only reason why I'm mentioning this is because I think that it just goes to show, like, when things like that happen, like I don't really believe in coincidence. I think everything is like got a natural butterfly effect. Everything's connected. Like, there's no thing that happens without a reaction and some sort of connection to it. And I think that it's like we started this podcast this year. I have so much fun doing this with you guys. And we connect with the audience so well. We've had great engagement with everybody in the audience. And I think it just goes to show, like Scottie Barnes winning Rookie of the Year, weird little things like that happening, just go to show that we have a very bright future ahead of us. And Scottie Barnes has an amazingly high potential for his entire career. And
so you're saying your mom was the reason you won?
My mom predicted Scottie Barnes.
Your mom was the reason you won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Shout out to Luke's mom.
Yeah, but
what's her name again?
Michelle.
Shout out to Michelle.
I'm so surprised. Like first of all, I'm frankly just surprised he won.
Flabbergasted.
He's a total. I personally, I guess it's known that I was a Mobley picker, but I totally like. There's a legitimate case for Scottie, and I'm so happy that he won. I wanted Scottie to win. And it's crazy to me that I think I was like not happy on draft night, and I think that we drafted the rookie of the year is very, very, very exciting.
And I just want to shut up myself again for predicting that he was going to be this good before the draft.
There we go. Yeah, that's true. Actually, if we're really going back to it, Elias probably predicted the earliest that Scottie
I
would
didn't
be
think he'd be rookie of the year.
Yeah, I thought his ceiling was Thad Young.
I
now.
wanted him on the Raptors. I did not. I thought he was going to average 10, 6, and like 3.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, me too. When we got Scottie, like I honestly think he was going to have a bigger defensive presence than anything else.
Me
and
too.
Rebounding.
Yeah.
Me too. I didn't think he'd be averaging almost 16 points a game.
The weakest part of his game this year was his defense.
Yeah, and that's surprising. So let's run through Scottie Barnes' final end of the season numbers and compare them to our top 3 candidates with Cade Cunningham, Evan Mobley, and
that's a lot out of me right now.
sorry,
I'm joking.
but so we'll just bring up those stats.
I got Scottie's numbers. If you want to look the other ones up? I don't know.
I mean the losers. Look up the losers.
Look at the losers.
Scottie averaged.
Hey man, I don't think there is any losers.
No,
man.
no,
This was such a tight
if
race.
any of them won, I would have been okay with it.
Yeah.
Because they all, it's crazy. That's gonna go down as one of the best rookie classes, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Totally. And that's what makes this the next, like, we're ushering in a new era of the NBA. And I think we've been talking about this, and that's why it's like so exciting to start this podcast is Scottie's my age, and we're
That's
gonna be
crazy.
Dude, it's wild, dude. And like we're gonna be like watching him grow and commentating on his game as we do this over the next couple of years, man. Like it's exciting, dude. And like I remember we talked about, like, I was like, oh, by the time Scottie's gonna be 25, Pascal will be like 32, 33. Hey man, that's still good at 32, 33 years old.
That'll be
Like
40. Bad time.
But I didn't realize the timeline there. But
And still breaking ankles.
hey, I think Pascal can still be quite effective as a 32-year-old. Yeah. Like look at Kevin Durant. Like you know what I mean? I mean, like I'm not comparing him to I'm not comparing him to Kevin Durant in that sense. I'm just saying that like and Chris Paul, like the guys who are at the top of the game, the elite, and I'd consider Pascal the top 20 player in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like if you look at these guys, they have generally like, some longevity. You know, and I think past 32 years old, like you can still be balling at 32. There's a lot of guys who are balling at 32.
Nowadays most
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Yeah, LeBron James.
All right, I got Scottie's numbers here.
I didn't mean to just name drop Kevin Durant, being like, Pascal, look at Kevin Durant. No, I didn't mean it. That's not what I meant. I just meant that like you can be elite, and like Kevin Durant's torn his ACL, man. Like, or was it ACL?
ACL.
Yeah,
He ruptured his
Achilles.
Ruptured
Even
Achilles.
worse.
Yeah, dude, literally, and like he's still balling. So like I don't know. I think and Pascal's never really had a whole lot of injuries other than his shoulder, like which is fine. But anyway, so let's talk about.
We're gonna run these numbers down.
Yeah, let's
All
run these
right.
numbers.
Okay, so Scottie averaged about 15 points on 50% shooting.
Well, say exact stats.
Okay, 15.3 points on 49%.
Not that you don't have to go with that. Just the points, rebounds, and assists. That's a big.
Okay, 15.3 points.
No, you're still doing it wrong. You're still doing it wrong.
7.5 rebounds and 3.5 assists on the year.
Yeah, and that's compared to Evan Mobley, 15 points, 8.3 rebounds, 2.5 assists.
Wow, really close.
And then Cade. Okay, so Cade's numbers look great. 17.4 points, 5.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, but they won like 10 games. So.
Well, that's not really rookie of the year.
Okay, but also I know, but the fact that Scottie was a starter all year on a 5th seed, it doesn't. I'm not saying that like if it's hard to explain because like I know Cade was on a really bad team. I know it's not his fault they're bad, but the fact that Scottie did help the Raptors to get a 5th seed should bump his case up.
And man,
yeah, I don't
Scottie
know.
like Scottie is being asked. It's hard to come in with Scottie's skill set, and I know we actually saw this early in the season with him and OG because they had a tough time playing with each other because they're so similar. And man, to come into a team with Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, 3 guys who are like already established Raptor players,
And then still exceed expectations.
still exceed expectation and find a specific role on that team. Like, you know what? In a sense, like Cade is like really good, but man, he's being asked to do it all.
He was given the keys. He's like,
Yes.
you do whatever you want.
Exactly. And like I think that opens up more opportunity for a guy like him because he's playing and then Scottie's playing a lot of minutes too, but
that begs the question: what if Scottie went to Detroit and was given the keys? How much better would he have been?
Exactly.
Or like stats wise,
Right.
you know?
Or
I think
Detroit's probably in a similar situation as they are right now.
Yeah, like
Right. Or if you just swap him and Cade, and Toronto's probably in a similar situation.
yeah.
Right. So I think that's like that's just kind of circumstance for me. Like as rookies, like you have no choice at where you go, right? So,
but my I just think like just the fact that we saw Scottie help out so much with such a great season you have to give that to him.
Yeah. And this game 4, Scottie, without Scottie in this game 4, we would have been in a different place. He gave us 11 rebounds.
So we transition to the game now.
Yeah. Let's transition.
Sure. Let's transition. But so congratulations, Scottie Barnes, winning Rookie of the Year.
You got to come back tonight or today.
Yep.
That was pretty.
They announced that right after they announced he won Rookie of the Year. Like 5 minutes later, they said he's back.
How many offensive rebounds did he have?
None.
He has 0 offensive rebounds, all defensive rebounds.
He looked fine.
Yeah, he looked good.
You know, it was a little scary. I saw him go down with that.
Off the screen.
Yeah, but it didn't.
Tripped
I think it was
over
just kind of a little aggravating it.
I think also it was like initial shock. He's like, oh my god, I heard.
Yeah. I was glad to see that he got back up and went right back in after.
Yeah. But he was still being quite aggressive. He was doing everything he could do on the floor. I think his finish was 6 points.
Yeah.
I'm glad guys like Thad, Chris, and Precious all had good games, so you didn't have to make Scottie play late in the game because I don't know how would that looked right. Just coming back like that.
Yeah.
So I think having those guys play well really was like you kind of help ease them back into it, and then next game you can probably get a few more minutes out of him.
Yeah.
But he looked for a guy come back off an injury looked solid.
Yeah, and he'll settle in.
And man, and that's the thing is,
move the ball.
I really don't think Scottie, when I watch him play, he doesn't really make a whole lot of mistakes, man. And that's the net positive of having him out on the floor is that you can put the ball in his hands and he can handle the ball. He can create for other players and you can just trust him with what he's doing, right? And I think that's just such a huge asset to have him on the floor because he's such a big dude. Mm-hmm. It's like he's a tough guy to guard, man. Like you can't stick James Harden on Scottie Barnes. Like Scottie Barnes would blow by him every single time.
Or shoot right over him.
Yeah, exactly.
Or use his body.
Exactly.
I think also before we get into actual game stuff, we should talk about Fred VanVleet's injury because that could keep him out for.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter here. It said he got he's getting further imaging done. So
and he didn't even come back to watch the rest of the game. He was gone for the whole thing.
He came out when they won.
Oh yeah, well yeah, but I mean to watch. Yeah,
he was on the bench.
Fred VanVleet will get further imaging done on his hip later. Update tonight or tomorrow from Blake Murphy.
I think initially they said it was a hip sprain.
Yep, it was initially.
I've never even heard of that.
I didn't even get sprain your hip. Apparently you can.
Originally left hip strain. Yep.
Yeah, strain.
That's a weird one. I've never.
Yeah.
I heard hip pointers, but
But we'll see. We'll adjust.
Yeah.
We've been adjusting all series with injuries. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And to be honest, Fred really wasn't giving us that great of minutes tonight. And not that Fred's not a good player. It's just I think
careful what you say.
What do you mean?
don't like no, keep going.
Well, I was just gonna say not that Fred's not a good player for us, and not that he's had not a great season, but we even saw Fred declining near the end of the regular season. And
not declining, it's just because his knee.
That's what I'm saying. Declining because of those reasons. Like he wasn't up to the same all-star level he was playing at before that break. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying he's declining as a player. He's declining because of injury. And
also I saw at the start of this game that he wasn't guarding Maxey before he got injured, which is very good. I'm glad we made that adjustment, but he's injured now anyway.
And Gary's, I liked Gary
11 points.
I liked Gary on Tyrese, man.
Maxey had a tough game tonight.
They all did.
Only at 11 on 4 of 12 shooting.
Nice. And I think, man, it's taken a while. I feel like if you watch the first 2 games of this series, you would think the Raptors are going to get swept. But I think as we've been watching, we've adjusted a lot. We've had to, of course, but to an extent that's these games, the game tonight and last game were totally different games than the first 2 games. The first 2 games were blowouts, man.
Yeah.
They were just sad.
The defense has been so much better. Like another level, just the creating turnovers part of it.
Yeah.
And that's was our offense, we saw in the fourth quarter, our game plan, right? Which is Pascal, you flatten out for Pascal or you run a 2-man game sometimes. And so when we get to have those, when our defense is generating turnovers, then we can, get, maybe even 6 points in transition makes a difference.
Yes.
Or you draw some fouls or you make them take take fouls. Right. And you get fouls on them. So that's, that's when we're cooking, when we're getting.
And there was a lot of transition basketball tonight, more than I think we've seen I'd say more in the last 3 games. I think tonight was the most transition basketball we've seen, and it was good transition basketball because every time we had the ball, we either did one of 3 things. If we couldn't get anything, we dribbled out. I saw Gary do this quite a lot, and they're very good. Or we took it to the basket, got a foul, went to the line, or took it to the basket and scored. And that's all you can ask for.
Raptors 22 points off turnovers. Woo. Philly 3 points off turnovers. Woo. Raptors also 13 offensive rebounds compared to the 6 from Philly, and that's so big for us as well. That's our game, right? Turnovers and second
and
chance
offensive
points.
rebounds.
Yeah. That's what we weren't doing the first 2 games.
Well, and I mentioned this to Elias when we were talking before, but it's that, and hopefully this is what we want to see with the Raptors in the future. But we're the team leading in offensive rebounds in the NBA. But I think we said we're like 5th or something with second chance points, and it's like ideally you'd like to see a high correlation with offensive rebounds and second chance points. Like if we're leading the league in offensive rebounds, like we would be a beastly, even more like way more beastly of a team if we were like second for second chance points.
Yeah, if we actually finish our layups.
Yeah, if we finished our layups. A big part of that low key though was Precious at the beginning of the season just had a tough time finishing. I'd
like to see the second half numbers on that. See how that.
Yeah, I would too. I would too.
Georges Niang is shooting 67% from 3 this series.
His name is Georges.
Yeah.
Is it Georges or is it George?
Has an S at the end.
Yeah.
That picture does not look like him. Like when you see him on camera.
Imposter, it's not actually him.
Yeah, that's not him, bro.
They're playing another man on the court.
Sussy, bro. That looks
They're cheating. They're cheating. Okay, let's actually get into this game, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we have to talk about Pascal first.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Playoff career high for Pascal.
Yeah.
34 points. What a game. Much needed, especially after that last game. Huge bounce back from Pascal Siakam. 34 points on 10 for 19 shooting. And 13 for 15 from the free throw line. He drew a lot of fouls, and they were actual fouls. Yeah. They were not baby calls.
Yeah, in that fourth quarter, they fouled. You went to line, I think, 11 times in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Then, because once they were in bonus, he kind of just had them at their mercy, right? If he gets any sort of step on them.
there's that like back-to-back plays where with like 4 minutes left in the game where Niang fouled Siakam right when the shot clock started.
And he fouled out.
Yeah, and then Niang fouled out. And then right after that, the next play after, that's when Embiid like tackled him.
Yeah,
and he got a technical for that. Gary hit the free throw.
Also, what was that Embiid?
Yeah,
what doing,
that was such a weird play. I'm sure you guys all watched that, but that was odd.
That was an odd play.
Yeah, it was
it's kind of weird to see Pascal and Embiid going at it so much this series because they are friends like outside of basketball.
Well, Embiid's just a...
And they did that before in the Sixers series against. Remember when Pascal tripped Embiid?
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
And it's kind of funny. Like these guys are like buddies with it. Just like
go at it. When you're going against each other, he doesn't really think about that.
I think we did see some very disappointing behavior though from Joel Embiid. Like just his attitude, like his complaining and the flops.
It pisses me off most that he told Nick Nurse stop bitching about calls, and then you see a game like tonight where he's like tackling Pascal Siakam because he's so upset.
And he would, dude. And we remember that one play where. So Embiid was called for the foul, or somebody was called for the foul, and Embiid starts yelling at the one ref.
Yeah,
and it's like,
Scott Foster.
Yes,
yelling at Scott Foster.
It's like, and Scott is looking at him. He's like,
yeah. He's like screaming at him.
Scott Foster's
Pascal
a guy who
did the same thing like 2 games ago and was called for a technical.
Yeah.
It's like, bro.
Scott Foster will tee guys up like for nothing too. Like that's what he's known for.
Yeah.
He's an awful referee, and
I hate Scott Foster.
He's like this legitimately not good at his job.
Yeah.
Like he's just not, and
incompetent.
And then the fact that he takes pleasure, I think, in making him part of the game. Like he wants people. He thinks people are coming to watch Scott Foster.
Ego. This is the whole point of the refs is to be neutral.
Yeah. You shouldn't know the refs are there.
And
you should know they're there. They're making calls, but you should never know the refs there.
It took Embiid tackling Pascal Siakam to give him a technical foul, and then right after that he started arguing again, and was like, right after that. Him and OG went at it, and they only gave OG a technical.
Yeah, it should have been a double team.
It should have been a double technical. But
anyway, it made me so happy to see Pascal. Like he kind of did it from all over. Drives, free throws, the mid range was going. First basket of the game.
He made some tough shots, dude.
And I love how he came out, right? Like you saw there was an obvious incentive on him. Just I'm gonna insert myself into this game, make them adjust to me. I think he had the first 8 of the 11 points, jumpers, drives.
Yep.
Just makes me so happy to see that how he came out and responded after a tough game last game.
And Pascal, a huge thing was he took advantage of the minutes that Embiid was not playing. Mm-hmm. Pascal, he as soon as you see Embiid's not there anymore, I don't mind Pascal being double teamed by whoever it is,
Tobias Harris and
George Niang and what's
Paul Reed.
Paul Reed, he can shoot over those guys, man. He can take them. It's when Joel gets down there that's where we start to have trouble.
Yeah.
And that's what was frustrating me with the last couple games is I just didn't feel like Pascal was taking enough advantage of when Embiid's not on the floor. But tonight I saw him doing that a lot, and that was very, very
really good.
I think
exciting.
Nick emphasized that.
Yeah.
Probably.
And he got great support from Gary Trent mainly.
Yeah,
really nice two-way game for Gary.
Yeah. Oh, dude. I want to talk about Gary's defense real quick. Because all series,
next
it has been he has stepped up defensively. Because I know at the start of the season he was amazing. Then he started slowing down a bit. He started getting over aggressive, getting to every passing lane. But now he seems like he's playing defense with his head on his shoulders all the time, and he's really digging deep.
He got 2 really great steals tonight and dunked on. Well, one of them wasn't his steal. It was a fast break pass to him, and then he dunked on it. But then he had that one amazing blitz on the pass lane, and just had a wide open dunk.
Yeah,
and it was
he had
just
technically 3 dunks this game, but one of them was called for a travel.
yeah, that was not a travel. That was
a
not
weird
travel.
call. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looked like a hop step to me.
Yeah,
It
that's
was,
what I
yeah.
thought it was.
Yeah, it's almost like he shuffled his feet as he was kind of picking up his dribble. And then once he technically the 2 steps started, I would have called that a gather step.
I guess it was a travel, but it wasn't an NBA travel.
I just know LeBron's not getting called for that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, so Gary's defense he stepped it up, man. Like I didn't feel nervous about Gary really guarding anybody on the floor. Like he was doing great defense on James Harden too, and Tyrese.
He had 24 points on 8 for 20 shooting this game.
I wish there were like
He was the only guy who hit multiple threes as well. He hit
Yeah.
3 threes.
Wow.
And dude,
They didn't make many
We only
threes
hit
this game.
8. Yeah. So we almost hit half our threes.
And they had 13. Yeah. Wow.
And Gary had 3. Then the other 3 of those 8 came from Pascal's and Chris Boucher. So tough night from deep.
but that was for both teams though. Neither team really shot it well from
And
3.
we needed a
They were
3-day.
41%,
On like what was their
13 for 31.
Yeah, like even still, that's a lot.
What is it?
that's a
George
league
Niang.
average.
George Niang was 3 for 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you got
Niang's
2.
for-
Oh, you got a bunch from in like garbage time.
Yeah, that's
Paul,
what- yeah, that's
Paul
like-
Reed.
yeah,
Paul Reed
yeah.
had one garbage time.
I
Isaiah
said Joe.
Joe.
Yeah. So that doesn't really count.
But what's kind of bothering me a little bit is that it seems like every game this series we've had only 2 of our top 4 guys play well. You know what I mean? Like this game. I mean, I would say OG played bad. Offensively, he didn't have.
He
a
hit
good
that
game.
super
It
clutch
was very
3
clutch,
though.
but like in terms of all game, like we had Pascal and Gary this game. Last game we had like Gary and OG. Before that, Fred and Pascal. Like I really want everybody to step up, and I hope we're due for that for one of these games because it'd be really nice. Oh, we've got to win this. Next
Yeah,
game.
you
especially
can't
'cause,
rely on just Pascal's superhero performances.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
we can't
another
can't
game,
rely
yeah.
on a playoff career high every single
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, and we're gonna be in Philly next game, so that's gonna
It's
be
gonna be
it.
tough.
It's gonna be changing up.
Whistle's gonna be
I
different.
still think we can. I think if we played if we played better than how we played tonight, just by even a little bit, like the smallest margin, I do think that we can win that game.
I'm
I
confident.
think
Why
you
not?
need Fred though.
Yeah.
I think he needs something out of Fred. Just
I'm
that
confident though,
ball
man. Why not? Like, I mean, also the thing with the Raptors is
And Thad was just unbelievable.
we go on losing streaks and we go on winning streaks. And that's what it was like all season. We lose 3 in a row, win 5 in a row, lose.
Yep.
So why not do it now? Let's
Yeah,
do it.
exactly. Yeah, and that's a great point, especially because we can literally see us playing better. Like not.
And it's been the past 2 games too. That game 3 game that could have gone either way.
Yes, and that's. I don't think anyone would really dispute that. Like whether it's you're a Sixers fan, NBA fan, casual.
That game either team could have won.
Either
and
team.
Embiid just had that really clutch shot.
Exactly. So and then just to quickly touch on Gary's offense was unbelievable tonight. I think he took so many pull-up jumpers. Great time. He was super. Did a great job of creating space for himself. And very smooth, not nervous when taking the shots. He passed the ball up when he needed to. As soon as he recognized that the double was coming to up to help on somebody like Pascal, he would drive in, and he got a couple buckets at the basket.
Yeah,
This
nice
is-
big one late.
This is a classic good Gary Trent Jr. game.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah, not doing too much, but also doing what you needed him to do. Like hit the big
Exactly.
shots.
Yeah.
He
Like,
took
you
the
needed
most
all-
shots
yeah.
on the team actually. He took 20. Pascal took 19.
Wow.
Which is weird to think about.
Yeah.
That's what we want him to do. Like.
Yeah, well, Pascal also went to the free throw line
Yeah.
like crazy.
Yeah. Yes.
Next guy.
So good to see him. At the
Next
free
guy to
throw
shout out, Thad Young. By far his best game of the series.
Yeah.
Broke
Yeah.
Embiid, dude. Made me so happy.
And he had that little reverse with the left too.
yeah, that was
no
totally like
backward.
over
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
Embiid and like
Yeah.
Niang or something.
He looked young.
And he had he had 4 beautiful assists all to
Oh,
Boucher.
yes.
And Boucher cut.
Yeah, Boucher's cuts were incredible, and then he had that 4th one was like a no look to the corner, for the Boucher's 3.
That's why you brought him in.
Yep.
You know, the veteran
Be better.
leadership, right? Big.
Yeah.
Winner go home, or go home type game, and he stepped up. And also like 13-5-5 3. That's like the classic Thad Young
And
stat
he
line.
Thad Johnson.
he got a lot of I don't know if they count. I don't think they count this as an offensive rebound, but he got a lot of offensive tips.
Yeah, no, those are offensive rebounds. Yeah,
Do they count?
Yeah.
They
So-
gave him
He had
4
4
boards.
offensive
Yeah.
rebounds.
Exactly, and those were huge, man. And then he had a couple putbacks that were like, man. For some reason, I don't know what it is, but like Chris can't make those, but Thad can. Like Thad just has like he's got a little jump
Nice
hook.
touch.
Yeah, like that, and a little floater.
I think Boucher gets a little too excited.
Yeah, and he does that. He does that thing where he like tries to dribble out.
Yeah,
and
he
like
fades.
Yeah, and then like put it up against the backboard where it's like, Thad will kind of turn his body, put his shoulder into somebody, and then do the little jump hook or a little floater.
Yeah.
And that's like. For I guess for Thad, that's a much higher percentage shot. But
Yeah,
Chris,
man.
that's not really part of his game. He doesn't really do that.
That's okay though.
No, Chris had a great game too
yeah.
with his cutting and his defense, rebounding.
Cutting was incredible.
He had some clutch plays.
Two
He was some
blocks.
steals, man.
all,
Couple steals.
All 4 of his buckets were assisted by Thad Young.
Yeah.
So that just shows how good that
I,
duo was.
I love a great cut. I love that play where Chris cut and like Pascal drove, kind of dumped it to Thad, and then Thad gave that quick little bounce pass on the Chris cut.
Yeah.
Thad had
Oh.
three steals. Chris had 1. And I think I don't know if they count as steal, but
Delano Banton had one.
But he had a couple tapped out of bounds, like that stopped their
Yeah,
momentum.
deflections.
Yeah, deflections. Yeah. They don't count deflections.
no, well, they do, but not in here.
Not on here, yeah. But yeah, like a lot of and that was another thing is I think we did a good job getting in those passing lanes, like using our length, as an asset.
Yeah, and I just overall I think our bench, Scotty's on our bench too. Our bench really stepped up this game, and it's something we need. Because Scotty, he only had 6 points, he had 11 rebounds also, and just brought a lot of energy, man.
Precious didn't start the game great, but he ended
No, he ended
very
the game.
very
He had a
in and
nice
out?
cross on Danny. Oh, dude, the handles by our
Oh,
big man this
Danny.
game, dude. That and Precious both
Yeah.
breaking the Sixers.
Yeah.
Who would have thought Thad and Precious were gonna be the guys breaking down the defense in the overtime?
Dude, I
Or in the fourth quarter.
can't get over how happy that made me when Thad broke Embiid and hit that shot.
Yeah.
I was
dude,
so happy
that
he hit the
was
shot.
crazy.
I was
Hit it-
like, I saw him break. I'm like, please, Thad.
I know.
Just hit it, man.
I was like, I haven't seen him make a mid-range shot all year.
Yeah.
And he made that one.
let alone an off the dribble like
Yeah,
step.
step
I
back.
was kind of surprised he shot it. Honestly, I guess Thad just passed it, passing it
Yeah,
out.
yeah. I
He's a
could
vet,
see that
man.
too, yeah.
He's a vet, man. He felt himself.
You want his highlight? I
Yes,
respect
sir.
it.
Hey man, if he's gonna give you the space too, and like we had Chris hit a really big 3 for us, corner 3.
Thad had a big 3
and
too.
and Thad had a really big corner 3 with lots of space. I remember they kicked the ball out. Thad holds it for maybe like a couple seconds. Takes time. Shoots the ball, and it was just cash. And like that is what we need, man. And like what was he shooting in Chicago? Like from 3, he was shooting pretty.
He's never shot
Around
the
like
ball from
35. He had 1 year around 35.
That
I
was-
think.
that was the
I don't know if it was in Chicago. It might have been his last
No,
year.
I
in
think
Indiana.
he did have a good shooting year in Chicago. I
Yeah?
think. But he didn't shoot very many.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever had like a better than.
Hold on.
He's not. Yeah, he's never been a
But
volume.
if we could like have him next year and have like a corner 3 going for him,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, he shot he shot 35.6% 1 year in Chicago.
on how many?
3.5. Okay.
yeah,
but
so
That's
it.
respectable.
that's pretty good.
That's about a 3
That's
game.
pretty good.
Oh, he shot 38% 1 year, but only 1.6 attempts.
Oh.
But no, he's shooting 40% since being on Toronto. So,
Yeah.
well, that's the regular season. But anyway, yeah, he's been reliable from 3, especially in that
Yeah.
corner, and I definitely trust him in the corner.
Yeah.
30 minutes
What,
off the
do
bench.
you guys agree with that? You trust him in the corner, Sam especially?
No, I mean, I only trust like 2 of our players in the corner, but
I definitely trust that in the corner, man, for sure.
all right. What else? Do we have anything else for this one? or-
I just wrote down a couple of things. I think so. George Niang got fouled out.
Yeah.
We had fouls. They were fouling very early on in the fourth quarter, and they had to bring Joel back in. I think it was around, I don't know, 9 minutes. And I think that when you bring Joel in the fourth quarter with 9 minutes left to go, you have to make him work every single possession because he's a big guy, dude. Like he needs to get tired, and that's one thing that we saw by the end of this game. He was putting up terrible
He
shots.
was exhausted.
Yeah, he was exhausted, and he was just falling over like. And then that's what we need him to
He
do.
fell over every time,
Anything.
someone touched
And
him.
he was guarding Pascal on the other end, so he couldn't take like he couldn't
Yeah,
he's sitting on Kevin
Yeah,
Birch or something.
yes,
right?
yeah.
I do want to shout out the refs. I don't like you, Scott Foster, but since the first 2 games, the refing has been better.
Yes.
There were times where, like, the first 2 games, anytime Embiid fell over, there was a
Home
foul.
court, bro.
Yeah.
Home court.
But I really hope it doesn't keep up in Game 5, man. I really, because that's a.
I think
death
we've done a good
sentence.
job adjusting though too, to a certain extent.
We have, but
That's I just when you get in that you want those Philly fans throwing beer at you, right? You know?
also Thad's shooting 50% from the corners, so
Hey, there you go.
trust him.
But yeah, so like, I think there was just like a huge contribution because if there's one guy we talked about this did not want to go off, it was Embiid.
Yep.
Like
Yeah, and a big thing was that I wanted to happen was to make sure going into the second half we kept him on lock because the first half.
Yeah,
we had
I
only
didn't
8
want
points.
that to happen.
Oh, okay, you wanted.
Yeah,
you wanted Embiid to
yeah.
go
So
off.
you were the guy who wanted that to happen.
Yeah,
I didn't
wanted
want.
to keep
Yeah.
on. Okay, yeah, no, I respect that for sure. Pleasure.
Oops.
Careful.
Sorry.
You're gonna break your wires,
I
man.
know, I'm breaking my own stuff.
But no, because a big thing last game in Game 3 was Embiid only had 8 points in the first half, and then he went off in the third quarter, and that was like the big thing. Like we have to keep Embiid at bay.
Didn't he score like 15 or something stupid in the
17.
fourth? Yeah.
in the third.
Fuck,
And then
God damn it.
And then this game, he had 8 points in the first half. So I was like, okay, you cannot repeat that from last game because that's a death sentence. And they didn't, and we got the W.
Yep. And then I think it also helped that we got into bonus at 6 minutes.
Yep.
We were able to get to the free throw line.
They fouled a lot this game.
They did.
And again, they were real fouls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't those Philly BS fouls.
Also, I think
they all
part of that, they got some older guys on this team, right? Danny Green, legs. Those legs kicking the same
get.
way in Game 4.
And Embiid's doesn't have much stamina.
Yep.
James Harden's getting up there. Tobias Harris.
Tobias still has a nice defense.
Niang fouled out in 22
Yeah.
minutes. Like that's a big one.
That dude is.
Yeah. Damn.
good.
22
Gotta
minutes, that's
respect
bad.
his jump shot though, man. He's
He's wet.
Like I said, 6
The minivan.
The minivan. That's his nickname,
Yep,
isn't it?
the minivan.
The minivan killing us from 3. Anything else in this game?
The
have
only
anything
thing I
more.
wrote here was the Sixers didn't shoot very well, but we didn't really shoot that well either. But
No, I think we just had more shots, because we got so many boards.
Yeah.
So even though.
Yeah, and more free throws. All right.
Yeah, literally the same percentage.
So we're headed back to Philadelphia for Game 5.
Uh-huh.
What do you guys hope to see out of Game 5?
A win. I just want. I want to
defense.
see.
Whoa! Let's fucking go!
Let's go. Win. I want Embiid to be held below 30 points.
Oh yeah.
I just want to see defense. Offense comes and goes. I don't know if you can really extrapolate any offense the Raptors do because it's so unpredictable. So I'm just gonna say play defense like you have the last 2 games, and that'll at least give you guys a chance. You can't play defense
Wow.
like you did in games 1 and 2.
Embiid finished -5.
Yeah.
He's
That's
poop.
interesting.
He's poop. So did Speed Mikhailuk.
No way he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
God.
He fouled.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that's a great point. Keeping Joel.
Winning. If we want to beat the Sixers, we have to keep Embiid. Just
Silence him.
Silence him as best we can. He's not going to be
Yeah.
silenced because he's an MVP candidate.
Quiet
but
him.
Quiet him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make him work for every. If he's
Yeah.
gonna score
Make him work.
35, make them all be
Make
on
him work.
turnaround
Yes.
jumpers,
Yeah.
and then you
Could
feel
be-
okay.
exactly.
You're like, I lost to
That's
him
exactly
hitting
right.
really tough shots.
Well, and actually, what was the point that Alvin brought up? Because it was a very good point. It was when Scottie was guarding James Harden, and James Harden and Precious I think was on Joel, and Scottie didn't pick him up early enough. So then James was able to make this super deep pass into Joel.
Yes.
And
Yes,
then
yeah.
Joel scored on that, which is like, I think that's another thing is not only just guarding Joel really well, but it's like we need to get up on their guards so that they feel pressure
And they can't make those
that those
passes.
passes are harder.
Yep.
We have to make the passes into Joel much harder to make.
And also-
and that's a big deal because James Harden's one of the best passers in the league.
And also, they only have one guy. Like, this was a big thing for the Sixers before they got Harden. Literally, no one on that team can make an entry pass.
Yep.
And it's only James Harden. He's probably one of the best passes of all time.
Yeah, he finished with how many
So,
assists? 12 assists maybe?
Yeah, like he
9.
could he could sleepwalk to double-digit assists.
Yeah.
So if you get if you really pressure Harden because he doesn't have the same quickness to get get separation, then you can also really limit Joel.
Agreed.
Bingo.
Make the other guys make decisions.
Yeah.
What a beastly
All
comment.
right.
What a great comment.
Yes.
W comment.
Yes. There we go. W in the chat. So yeah, we are super happy that we were able to pull off game 4,
Yeah,
avoided a sweep, and we showed we won this game by a decent margin too. Like we kept it under 100 points.
Yeah.
Like and that to us is I think just one of the that's what we can ask for out of the Raptors, man. Like that's just what this game was very reflective of what we really asked them to do for us. So
Yep. Hard fought victory.
yeah, absolutely.
All right.
That's all I have.
All right.
Also, this will be our last all in person podcast.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just be me and
damn.
Luke, I guess, on the next one, right?
Well, I'll probably
Video
try
in?
and video in
All right.
because it's the
Yeah.
playoffs. I want to be there.
Yep.
Maybe we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
But
And we can always call you in too.
that's true. Yeah.
Like so.
just give my thoughts.
Yeah,
Really quick.
yeah,
But
yeah.
we'll figure it out. But this will be our last one. All 3 of us in person
Yeah.
Right on.
Wow. Damn.
for the year.
Okay. So Thank you guys so much for tuning into the podcast. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, make sure to comment, and to subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, make sure to leave us a rating, and also please leave us a review.
Yeah.
You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at RapChat Podcast, where we post new clips of the show every single week. I'm your host, Luke Dick.
I'm myself.
And I'm Sam Kenny.
Peace.
Peace.